This is the Average to Savage podcast with Paul Guarino. Everyone and anyone, athletes, celebs, and much more.
What's up, everybody? I'm back for another episode of the Average Savage podcast. Our special guest today is Kris and Randall of Dugout Mugs. How's it going, guys?
Going good, man.
Life is good.
Let's just jump right into it. How did you guys start up Dugout Mugs?
Back in 2015, I had an idea to turn a baseball bat barrel into a drinking mug. I dreamt it up in a college baseball dugout, and kind of just out of desperation. And a couple years later, I kind of brought it to the world. And Kris and I linked up in 2017, and then we just kind of started to show it off to more people. And I mean, it's a very, very big, a very high level way of it all happening, but that's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah. Then how did you two meet?
I was scrolling through Facebook. I came across Kris, Googled Kris, saw that he had experience in selling a lot of things online. And so I reached out to him, and then we met in a lobby of a hotel bar, maybe a couple of weeks after I reached out to him.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then just bringing the concept to life and just creating products. I kind of have a little background about stuff like that. What was the development process of creating it?
Just asking a lot of questions on the front side of things. I didn't have any experience in woodworking or manufacturing or just even product development. So you kind of start with ground zero, and a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of Googling, a lot of cold calling, even driving around and asking machinists and different people on how they would go about making it. And really all I needed was a wood turner. And it seems really, really simple that I should have gotten to that answer rather quickly, but I didn't. And just a whole lot of questions, asking a whole lot of questions.
And then when I know you guys started in 2014, how long was it until you brought the product to sell it?
The first one sold was in the middle of 2016.
Okay. And then what was your guys's breakthrough? Because I know I personally seen you guys before you even we got in touch. I've seen it all around the place now.
I think we're still waiting for our big break here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of breaks along the way, man. It's the journey, right? It's the business. It's what it is. Our first big break was selling, we filled up a tiny little mail truck, and one day we're like, oh my God, look at this shit. We filled up a mail truck. Outsourcing, right? We hired our first employee, Karen, all those years ago. That was a big break, right? But I think it's relative to where you are in the journey. Our first 7-figure year, that's a cool break, right? Our first 8-figure year, that's a pretty big breakout. I think, it's relative, right? MLB, getting an MLB license, a minor league license, a Hall of Fame license, a Players Association license. I got to hand Ken Griffey Jr. a Lifetime Achievement Award dugout mug backstage in LA. That was a cool break. Randall, we did 4,500 mugs at the Braves Stadium for Chipper Jones night. A guy that Randall idolized growing up in baseball. So to see thousands of people walking around a pro stadium with your stuff in their hand, that's a big break, right? So it's a lot of things, right? And I think to not reflect on all of them as a whole would be a misstep.
Yeah, for sure. And then you just mentioned the licensing, and I know that's kind of pretty hard to get. How was getting that?
It wasn't that bad. I think if it makes dollars, it makes sense, right? So we showed up, we sold unlicensed units hard for about a quarter, and then we grabbed a PA license. And I mean, MLB, the first time we reached out, one of our team members reached out to them to get set up, and they shot us down. They're like, yeah, we already have enough drinkware. And, it's the advice I give a lot of business people: don't be scared to flex, and we had sales. We know our shit. We know what we're doing. And we flexed on them. We said, listen, give us a number. Here's our sales, here's our product, give us a number. And they gave us a really stout number, thinking that we would probably shy away from it. It was well into six figures. We pulled the trigger, and we hit our numbers ever since. Sometimes you just gotta, bet on yourself, right?
Yeah, definitely. Now, have you done anything, like, I know you kind of mentioned it, but like individually with any of the teams?
Oh God, yeah. I think a handful of them bought our stuff for season ticket holder gifts, and they buy them for ticket packages. And yeah, I mean, they give them away. They do promotions. The MLB store in New York called us a couple days ago asking to do a promotion to help them drive some stuff for Father's Day. So Budweiser reached out to us, right? So these big brands and these big, all the teams, we work together, right? Because, we've kind of solidified ourselves as a good brand in the baseball community. So collaborating with the teams has really been a piece of cake. And even more so the players. Randall's an ex-player. We have a lot of ex-players that work for us. And so that's actually been the one that's been really cool for me to see, is just reach out to one of the players and say, hey man, we're going to give a bunch of stuff away to fans. You autograph a couple dozen cards for me. And they're like, oh yeah, send them my way. Right. So to have that, or all these mugs behind me, they're all autographed, and it's just crazy. Yeah. Right. To collab with the players has been the fun part for me.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then what about like on the side of, like, I seen like videos and stuff, is any like bars like reaching out and like buying these things for the bars?
You pretty much assume that everybody you're about to ask about is buying these mugs, whether it's a bar or it's a team or it's a player. We're in 7 countries now. Okay. 50 states, every pro stadium, most of the minor league clubs. I'd say half the guys in the league have our stuff in their house. So everybody's reaching out. And I think that's part of it, is we've done a good job of consistently telling our story and being front and center, and just keeping the momentum going and the conversation going. Like Randall alluded to very lightly, we just showed it to more people. Right. So I think that it's starting to really catch on at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And then just going back, I know you just mentioned Randall played baseball. Did you guys both play baseball growing up, and how like far did you guys go?
No, I didn't. I mean, I played some ball up till about high school, but my sport's always been business. That's just my thing. Randall probably has a lot more to say about that than a player for as long as he was.
Yeah, I played baseball growing up and signed with the Blue Jays after playing college ball, Florida Tech.
Nice. So how was your minor league experience?
Not a very good one. The best way I've ever heard it put, once you get into professional baseball, the game starts using you to better itself, to where baseball, you've grown up and you've used the game to better yourself. And that's a really good way of putting it. You just kind of get into it and it turns into a business, and it just wasn't that fun for me.
Gotcha. And then just going back to the mugs, I saw you guys also expanded to other things like the wine glasses, or wine. I don't even know, what do you want to call them? Wine mugs. Like how did that come about?
The wind up. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw an ad by one of the bat companies, and they had a glove mallet, which is just a mini baseball bat that people hit their gloves with to break them in faster. And they had a glove mallet that was sitting exactly like a wind up sits. And I stopped in my tracks, and the Dugout mug was already a thing. And I said, oh my gosh, somebody turned a baseball bat into a wine glass. And they didn't. It was just a glove mallet sitting upward, and said, well, I guess that's what we're going to do. So that's how the wind up came to be.
Gotcha. And then what about, what are both you guys, what are your goals for 2021?
From a business standpoint?
Yeah.
We're hoping to grow the company by the current trajectory that it's at. It's growing 3 times the size that it was at last year, and just being more efficient with our processes and growing the top line while the bottom line grows as well. I would say is probably pretty good representation of what we're trying to accomplish.
There's a couple of the other initiatives that I think when you go from profit to purpose in life and business, I think that's a really cool transition. And because of the speed of our growth and just the support of the baseball community, we've gotten to that point quickly. So our Cheers to Charity initiative is something that I'm really enjoying. So the whole idea behind Dugout Mugs is we celebrate and serve the heroes of the baseball community by creating uniquely fun gifts that bring people closer to the game they love. Like, that's our mission, if you will. So our Cheers to Charity initiative certainly plays into that, where we select heroes in the baseball community that have charities. Some are just average Joe, that started a little league for special needs kids, right? And across the board, down in the Dominican Republic, we've sent gloves and bats and balls and mugs and things like that. So to give back, I mean, anywhere between probably 15 to 20 different charities a year. We're donating, we're doing collaborations, doing fundraisers with them. A lot of times it's in and around kids. We've worked with Big Papi, Mariano Rivera next week. We're going live with Mariano. Next month, it's the Weeks brothers and Pudge Rodriguez, and Justin Turner's coming on later in the year, and the Rizzo Foundation. And I just was emailing with Verlander's people on his thing. So I think that's an initiative I really want to see transition into something even bigger over the rest of this year. The company and the sales and the mugs are kind of doing their own thing right now. So we can kind of take our hands off that and work on some of these passion projects, as well as develop a couple additional products. We have 2 in the pipeline right now that I think are going to be very well received. So I'd like to see those come to fruition on time, and and us get a good push on those as well. So that's kind of my side of things, what I really want to see happen over the rest of the 2021.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to see what the new products are too. And then what can you guys both tell me a little advice you would give like a young entrepreneur trying to start a business?
It's probably going to be drastically different advice from the both of us, right? Because our paths have been a little different. Randall was throwing pitches, and I was, running businesses, and so I'd say some of the stuff I've learned along the way is do what you do best and outsource the rest. All right, like really find out what you're good at, and stop trying to, be good at everything, because you're not. There's 1 or 2 pieces, there's 1 or 2 bricks that's yours, and you focus on those. I believe that your network is your net worth. So I think, connecting with the right people and being genuine about it. I think authenticity goes a long, long way. And truly connecting with people, not just with the, having ulterior motives. Like, I'm going to connect with this guy because they can do something for me. I think those are really shallow. So generating and creating genuine relationships, I think, is hugely important. And another would be just, life's too short to do shit you hate. Love what you're doing. If you're not having fun, it doesn't matter if you make money or not. Usually money is a side effect of doing the right things on a regular basis, right? So you have to be doing things that you enjoy and doing things that you love. There's a few thoughts off the top of my head, but.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like the one where you said, you got to do what you do best and outsource to other people to do the other thing.
Yeah. Any business worth creating is bigger than an individual.
Yeah, for sure. And how about you, Randall?
I guess if we're talking about the very beginning stages of things, people want to be an entrepreneur. I guess the advice that I would give is the only limited resource of things is grit. There's plenty of cash out there. A ton of people want to invest in companies. They want to try to multiply their dollars. There's plenty of information. The Google exists. The internet exists. You don't got to go to the library and go through the Dewey Decimal System to try to figure out how to do anything. The really, if you kind of look at your situation and you say to yourself, man, I wish I could be an entrepreneur. I don't know why I'm not an entrepreneur. A lot of it probably comes down to just yourself, and that you probably lack some sort of consistency and grit. So, I would say if you really want to do it, then you can do it. You just can't make an excuse. You got to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
The one I always liked, Randall, that you touch on is ask better questions. Yours is, I think the way you always alluded to is like, if you don't know something, go learn it, right? That's mostly true, but the real part is just ask better questions. right? Ask better questions and learn from the answers. And sometimes that means you go find somebody, outsource, right? And others is like you learn it.
Mhm.
I don't think people do enough due diligence. And the entrepreneurs, a lot of them these days are very entitled. They think, oh, I want to start a business and it'll just run. It don't work like that.
Mhm.
You know, it takes,
It's hard
like you
work.
said, mad grit. You know, it's not for weak people. You know, you got to keep going. You got to get punched in the face and get back up again, over and over and over. And yeah, the shit goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I always say like consistency is key. Like everyone always asks me, and I'm just like, consistency is like what like builds up everything, because like people just keep on seeing you're doing it and doing it and doing it.
Well, your level of enjoyment also contributes to consistency.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get up and do something you don't like over and
Yeah.
over and over and over. So with us, there's been plenty of tough days, but it's like, I'm having fun. You having fun? All right, we're having fun. You know, we'll get punched in the face today. We'll lose a bunch of money today. You know, we're having fun, right? That matters more than people give it credit.
Yeah, definitely. All right, you guys ready for some fun questions?
Ready?
What's your guys' favorite baseball teams?
I'll go with the Rays.
All right.
Whoever's buying my mugs.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a Rays guy. They love us. We love them. But yeah, whoever's buying our mugs.
I feel you. Yeah, just working in the sports industry too. Like I became like less of a fan, you know, whoever, like I support whoever's supporting me, basically. Like, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then who's like one person that you want to get a dugout mug in the hands of that you haven't yet?
I think there's I like Ashton Kutcher,
Okay.
Justin Timberlake, they're Dodgers fans, Bill Murray, Billy Crystal, some of those just old school, legendary, you know, famous baseball fans. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Randall, you got anything or not?
No, if we stay on the movie star trend, I'll throw McConaughey out there.
Okay. What do you guys like to do in your free time when you're not working on your business?
I've been having a lot of fun with baseball cards personally.
Okay.
At first I was like, oh God, I'm ashamed, but like it's a kid again thing. It's been super fun for me. So I'm playing with that. Outside of that, I like to golf, fish, chill. Yeah, pretty low key.
Yeah, the baseball thing went crazy during the whole virus. Kind of like blew up again, and now like Pokemon cards are back, and like I just saw, I don't know if you guys saw it, like Target is not selling baseball cards or Pokemon cards anymore because the lines were so crazy.
Yeah, people were waiting outside. It's like 6 a.m.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's, Kris was getting into the cards and he was telling me about that. He said he tried to go to Target just to look for them. This is before he discovered that that they have like regulations on when you can actually come in there and try to buy them. And he was telling me all about it, and I thought it was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I opened up an old shoe box I had from the early 90s, and I found 4 Derek Jeter rookie cards just sitting in a shoe box, all mint condition. And I was like, oh, these are probably $5. Well, they're all like 50. One's like 800. And I was like, holy crap. So I was like, oh, so I started playing around with it again. It's becoming problematic because, you know, well, I'm not fishing and golfing, right? So obviously there's something wrong here. You gotta fix that.
And then you see them all graded and all that. And now all the grading systems are back up, and now like new ones are coming up. It's crazy.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's just silly. But we did. So one of the things we do with Dugout, because I'm real big on customer experience, we bought like little over 12,000 packs of 1989 tops, and we're just throwing one in every box that goes out the door right now, just so that when people get this box, they get to rip open a 30-something-year-old pack of baseball cards, find like these right here, like old Mark McGuire.
Yeah, it's dope.
And Nolan Ryan, and just anyway, Ryan Sandberg. It's just fun. It's a fun experience. So we're playing into that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Have you guys heard about like these NFTs and all that stuff? Like the crypto stuff? Cryptos?
Oh yeah, very much so. I've been involved and invested in the crypto space since before it was cool.
I gotcha.
And the
And what-
NFTs are interesting. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, but I think there's a play with Dugout and NFTs. I just haven't kind of got my hands wrapped all the way around that yet. But yeah, I mean, we try to stay in front of the trends, Dogecoin or Dogecoin, whatever. I'm trying to contemplate, I'm trying to figure out how we can accept Dogecoin for Dugout mugs, maybe sell 1,000 mugs at, 100 Dogecoin each or something.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But we like staying ahead and staying fun, staying relevant. And it's like I said, it's a good time.
No, yeah, I like that. I think that's like the key to just, like you said, stay with the trends for any business now. But yeah, I appreciate you guys
That's
coming
it.
on. And could you let the listeners know where they can follow you in Dugout Mugs?
Everywhere on
that's
social
it, just
media.
dugoutmugs.com. Yep. And the one thing we're doing for Father's Day right now, there's a free knob shot. So our knob shots that we have, it's a baseball bat handle hollowed out into a shot glass. We're giving these away. They're normally $30, but instead we're giving them away for just pay like $9 shipping and handling, any MLB team, whatever. So it's dugoutmugs.com/knob shot promo. And you can get them for like $9 to your door. It's a really sweet deal.
Well, appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.